This is a Hot Pie Original.
Please indulge us.
No.
Indulge us.
Yes. In the eyes of a ranger, the unsuspecting stranger have better know the difference from wrong from right. That's what he says. It's like a total word salad. Because the eyes of the ranger are upon you. Anything you do, he's gonna know. When you're in Texas, look behind you. Because that's where the ranger's gonna be.
Colton, tag that. That's our clip. Tag it. Right there. That's the clip. You can drop that motherfucker today. Do it, Colton.
Welcome to the Gray Area Podcast with me, Chad Fisher. No more.
Yo, it's Aaron Cheatham.
Yeah, we out the house, boy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gray Area Podcast. I didn't know what camera we were on for a second. I'm Chad Fisher alongside my co-host, Mr. Aaron Cheatham. Aaron, how you doing, brother?
I'm all good, man. I am fantastic. Yes.
That's good, man.
How about yourself? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Tired as shit. It's early as fuck. I mean, it's not early to me, man. I've been up for like 5 hours, but
It's early as fuck to me.
to you, yeah, I was worried you weren't going to get here on time, man. That's why I texted you at like 8 o'clock.
And I was already here.
You was already here. I was
already
like,
here.
I'm going to start doing this, man. I'm going to start telling them the interviews at like 9 instead of 10.
I mean, the only reason I'm already here is because I didn't get home till almost 3 o'clock in the morning from San Antonio last night.
Goddamn.
And I slept on the couch. And when I woke up at 7:30, I just got dressed and came here.
Yeah.
You know, that whole shit when you don't want to be late to work, so you sleep in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So you don't, you know what I'm talking about? Like that's,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking
sleeping
about.
on the couch, man. Like that's some old man shit right there.
Nah, it's just the couch is my spot right now. That's kind of my thing.
Do you sleep with your socks on too?
Nah, I put them under a pillow.
That's fucking gross, dude.
What do you mean?
That's
What's
nasty.
so nasty about taking your socks off when you sleep?
No, you're supposed to take your socks off. You're not supposed to put them under your pillow.
Yeah, I'm on the couch. I just put them under the pillow.
Well,
so
you
I
think
know.
someone's going to steal them or
No,
something?
so I know where my shit's at.
Ain't no one taking these motherfuckers. I learned my lesson last time, motherfucker. We ain't doing this shit again.
Look, ever since the last time I woke up with one sock, no idea where the other one.
You put your socks under your pillow, but you just like leave your phone and your watch like out or some shit.
No, I mean, if you're asking me for real, the phone is plugged up on one end of the couch.
Your chain is out on the floor, but your socks are under your fucking pillow.
No, on the couch, there's like 17 pillows on the couch. So you just stick socks under a pillow so I know where they're at when I wake up. Because when I wake up and go upstairs, I'm half asleep.
Yeah.
So everything needs to be in a spot so that when I'm in autopilot, getting up and just walking upstairs.
Why don't you just put them on the floor like next to you?
Why would I put it on the floor? I've got a 12.
Why would you put them under
I have a
a pillow?
12-foot couch.
Why would you put them under a pillow? That's hilarious.
They're the couch pillows. I don't know if you have pillows on your couches, but
yeah, I do, man.
yeah. So
I
under
have
those,
30.
we have a 12-foot fucking couch. There was a lot of pillows. I slide them under
That's
a
hilarious,
pillow.
man.
All my shit right there under a pillow, so I know where it's at.
So I know where it's at.
Yeah, I know where my shit's at. When I wake up, I'll grab this shit, stumble upstairs, get into bed, and go to sleep.
There you go, man.
That's how we do it.
That's awesome, man.
You got a shout out for the week?
Yeah, man. So I got a bone to pick with you, man. Because of you doing your familial shout outs every time, I went over to my girlfriend's house the other day and she's like listening to the podcast and she's like, you know what? You never shout me out on this show. You know, Aaron's like shouting out his whole fucking family.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get pussy, basically, you know, trying to get fucking brownie points.
Trying to show love to my folks, but go ahead.
I was like, I tried to explain to her, I was like, no, babe, that's just because Cheatham is lazy and he doesn't look up the shout out.
You have no idea.
He just makes it up as soon as we get to the fucking studio. I actually researched this shit and look up.
Pause. Let me just say something right now. I'm going to rebut that.
No.
Because you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong.
That's what it is.
No, it's not. Because we use it for different things. For me, I like to shout out people in my life that are doing things. And if I don't have anybody directly around me that's doing things, then I'll find somebody that I want to talk about. But if people near me are doing good shit, I'm going to tell them. So you go ahead and you do an article. I'm going to shout out people that I love. Continue.
That's wrong anyways. But so my shout outs to my girlfriend.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for biting my style.
No, I'm doing it so I can fucking stay out of the doghouse, man. You know what I'm saying?
You'll learn one day. There's a reason for this shit.
My girl is a private chef and it's the shit, man. I get fucking amazing meals all the time, man. She just hands me like a to-go box and it's like, here's dinner. I'm like, what is it? She's like, you don't fucking care. I'm like, probably not, yeah. But it's amazing all the time, man. She's a shit, taking care of our son as well. You know, it's a shit, man.
I don't know if you did that the right way to get pussy though. Like I don't know.
Dog, I get pussy regardless. I don't know. I don't need to fucking use a podcast to do that shit.
I don't know that. If that's what you were looking for.
Dog, I slide in. I don't need this shit. I got it.
Okay.
Also give a shout out to Australia, mate. We're fucking big in Australia, man.
Are we still?
Yeah, I mean,
For a hot second?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, you know, that's cool.
We're doing good. And Canada, mate.
We see you, Perth.
What the fuck they say?
Yeah.
Don't you know?
We're big in Canada, don't you know? We're pretty big at boot in Canada. Yeah, man. So shout out to the people listening over there. What's up?
Okay. My shout out, I have one, but two. I want to make a real quick side note. Michael here at Hot Pie. Shout out to that dude from coming from Muay Thai classes and then when the Ric Flair chopped the shit out of me saying good morning.
Oh, he
That's
always
a big,
hugs
strong
people.
boy.
He always hugs people so hard and shit, man.
Because he's hopped up on testosterone and PCP.
He's one of the dudes you like clench up when you see him. You're like, fuck, man, this dude's about to pat the shit out of my back.
Well, you know he is.
Man.
He's got 35-pound dumbbells in his office.
Yeah, I know, dude. What the fuck?
He just drops a set. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? And then he high fives your hand right off of your fucking torso.
Damn, dog, settle down.
It's like, can I get my hand back?
Yeah.
So shout out to Mike for being a big, strong boy. And Michael Cargill had posted something on Facebook today that I thought was hilarious, and I wanted to give a shout out to owner of Central Texas Gunworks.
Yeah.
Said while everybody thought that they were defunding the police last year, Austin PD racked up over $7 million in overtime during the BLM protests last year. So good luck defunding them because they totally just got paid overtime like a motherfucker.
Like, we should do this again next year, guys. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to them for figuring out a way to make it work. Yeah. Somebody's gonna pay this overtime. Goddamn it.
Yeah. No shit, dude.
So shout out Michael. Michael's got some of the funniest little sly fucking comments on Facebook. He just be taking shots at people on the sly.
Yeah, he's funny, man. He's hilarious.
I actually ran into Michael last Wednesday randomly downtown. Last Monday. Last Monday I was downtown.
He was just walking around with his gun and shit.
Not even. It's even worse.
Fucking pissing people off.
I was down at checking out Kill Tony, and we were waiting for the show to start. So I walked down to the Creek and Cave with a couple of other comics. And as we're walking, I saw the Central Texas Gunworks car on 6th Street parked. And I was like, oh shit, Michael Cargill's down here.
Yeah.
And then I looked to my right, and he was sitting like in the window of one of the bars right there, fucking going. He was
he carrying?
Of course he was carrying, and he was wearing his uniform as always, red shirt, black pants, and he's sitting in the window. I'm like, Mike, he goes, oh shit, how you fired me so fast? I was like, what the fuck?
That's fucking hilarious.
And then on the way back, like I walked by, I was across the street, walking back past, and Michael's sitting in the window of a bar. Hey, what's going on? I was like, dude, you can't take Michael nowhere.
Yeah.
But
he's a goofball, man.
He's hilarious. It was good to see him though, just randomly downtown. Drinking at 5 p.m.
Yeah, which is
happy hour.
Yeah,
it's always happy hour.
Always happy hour. Yeah. But yeah, brother, we got a guest today, man.
Okay, bring him in.
Yes, bring him in. So we're super excited to have our guest today is the creator of Big Laugh Comedy, which is taking Austin and Central Texas by storm. They run weekly shows at Vulcan Gas Company on East 6, downtown Austin. It's also quickly becoming, I would say, like the premier comedy company in Austin. They've had comedians like Joe Rogan, Ron White, Tony Hinchcliffe, and they'll soon be having Donnell Rawlings, one of my favorite comedians, Paul Verzi, and so much more. Please welcome to the show, Brandon Lewin. How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate it, man.
What up, B?
This is going to be fun, man.
I'm excited.
Yeah, dude, we've got so much shit to talk about, man. There's so many interesting things going on right now.
Yeah.
And you're at the forefront of a lot of that stuff, man. So we're really anxious to get into this stuff. But first,
we got a game. We like to play a game with our guests to get to know them a little bit, whatnot. You want to play a game with us?
This.
Yeah. We're gonna slide it in, like Michael Jackson style. We're sliding it. Moonwalk all in that ass one time.
Yeah. For everyone who wasn't on this earlier, we were talking about this sexy ass picture of Michael Jackson right behind me.
Yeah.
So this is the So Aaron, sorry, I fucking forgot your name there for a second.
Thank you for coming on my show with my face right here next to my face and forgetting
what
my
a
name.
dick.
No, it's cool because I was waiting for him to introduce you, so I knew your name.
You're like right back at you.
Yeah, right. Continue.
But Aaron was talking about how this is like the sexiest picture possible of
absolutely.
And you have this above your bed, you said, right?
Yeah, definitely. I make eye contact while making love to my wife.
That's a great
Confirmed.
Yes.
Confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've got videos if you want to.
That's fucking.
It's just, it's,
Pull it up.
no. Here's the thing. The video is just me looking at the picture. You hear sex noise, but me staring at the picture. It's straight shoulder up. It's just me in the picture in the frame. That's it.
That's TikTok material right there.
Absolutely. All right. The game we're playing this week, this is a gray area gauntlet, also known as the gag. We got a couple of gags for you. The way this works is I got a topic,
Okay.
and we're going to figure out who is the best of all time in that category.
Awesome.
All right.
Love this.
So the first category
Uh-huh.
is Charles's.
Charles's. Yeah. What's
The
up?
greatest Charles of all time. We're going to do a gray area gauntlet to figure out who is the greatest Charles of all time.
Yeah.
And you can both answer.
Okay.
And that way y'all can discuss it out and figure out who you think.
Yeah.
We'll move on. So I'll give you 2 Charleses.
Okay.
Whoever you pick out of that will go against the next Charles.
Okay,
And the
perfect.
next Charles until we get to the end.
I like
Okay.
this.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. First pairing, we got Charles Darwin versus Charles Lindbergh.
Darwin.
Darwin?
Mhm.
You got Darwin?
Yeah.
What, evolution over flight? Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. I'm gonna say Darwin.
Lindbergh did lose his kid.
Yeah.
So
He was a terrible parent. What a
great
terrible
pilot,
parent.
terrible dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
terrible dad.
Yes.
So we're going Darwin?
Yes.
All right, bet. Charles Darwin versus Chuck Taylor.
Ooh.
Shoes.
Yeah. I'm going back to Darwin.
You're going Darwin over Taylor's?
Mhm.
I ain't never seen Darwin hanging from a power line.
Facts.
Facts.
I would say Chuck Taylor's, man.
You got Chuck Taylor's?
Yeah, man.
Chuck
'Cause
Ta-
you could. My dad used to tell me stories about how you could, like, they only came in white.
Mhm.
And you could put them in with colors,
Uh-huh.
and they would turn like fucking red and shit like that. That's how they changed, like, got different color shoes back then. And people was like, "Oh, damn, look at them fly ass red Chuck Taylors, man." He's like, where'd you get them?
I
He's
wish
like,
my
got 'em
shirt
custom
bled on
made,
them.
motherfucker. I got them custom made, bitch.
I did the laundry the wrong way.
Yeah. People were like, damn, those nice, getting
Well,
extra pussy and shit.
Oh,
like,
no, but
goddamn.
the first time it happened, it was like, Mom, you fucked up my shoes.
yeah, and
you
then
know,
it's like, well-
and now you're embarrassed to walk out the
Yeah.
house. And then it's like, oh shit, I'm the only one with
Yeah.
half pink shoes.
I'm pretty cool, man. I'm getting all kinds of fucking pussy.
We need to have a majority to move on. I'm gonna go with Chuck Taylor's as well, just for the social impact and creativity on the art community that they brought to the
Yeah.
shoe game.
Mhm.
Okay.
There was no originality, and
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
wore the same
He was wearing
fucking
like boots
shoes.
to play basketball in, man.
Yeah, everybody was wearing those Forrest Gump shoes.
Yeah.
And then Chuck Taylor's came out, which aren't very much more comfortable, but still,
No, those are
they were a
terrible.
little flyer than them
Yeah.
leather shits.
Yeah.
So sorry, Darwin. We're gonna go with Chuck
Yeah,
Taylor.
we're going with we're fucking tennis shoes, man.
2-1, we're taking Chuck Taylor's.
Yeah.
All right, so Chuck Taylor versus Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, Charlie Chaplin, man.
Oh, I'm going Taylor's then.
Don't make me. You going Chaplin?
Charlie Chaplin, man. Like, the only time he spoke, it was like one of the most irreverent fucking speeches of all time, man. Have you heard it?
Nah, man.
Have
I've
you
never
heard it?
heard it. No.
It's amazing, man. He talks about, like, you know, humanity and like war and all this other shit, man. It's like very, very fucking profound.
All right, you sold. You sold me.
There you go.
I'm going Chuck Taylor's.
Yeah.
Wait, are you switching?
No, I mean,
Oh, this
I mean, he
motherfucker.
still sold me on.
Yeah.
on
But you're
that.
still Chuck Taylor.
He's
Yeah,
like, I
so-
like Charlie Chaplin now, though. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
fucking change my
You're like,
vote,
yeah, I'm
but-
not going to look it up, but that sounds real
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah. All right, so Chuck Taylor moves on. But here we go. Next up, Chuck Taylor versus Charles Woodson.
Oh, Charles Woodson, dog. Come on, quit playing.
Charles Woodson,
Yeah.
Don't do
the
that.
football player.
Yes, the
Yeah.
football player.
Oh,
He said, don't do
What
that.
you-
Don't you dare do
What are you making that face
shut your
for?
mouth.
just because, like, I mean, you compare the two. Like, I mean, I know Woodson was great, but I still feel
We're
like
talking two
Taylor's-
Michigan fans here, too, man.
Oh,
so
yes, okay.
we're definitely going with Charles Woodson.
Okay, that's
Dog,
fine.
I'm just going to say
move him on because I'm
Charles
not gonna agree
Woodson
with you guys.
was the best college football player I've ever seen play. I used to go to Michigan games back when he was playing, and I remember just thinking, like, anytime he was on the field, everyone in the stadium like knew where he was, and was like, when he come out on offense, you know, he played a little bit of offense then. Everyone was like, oh shit, Chucky's out on the field, and like you would watch what he did, and he always made a big play, man, always, and he's the best football player I've seen in Michigan.
13
Tom Brady went there too. and I
13
saw him.
career touchdowns on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL.
Crazy, man.
Really,
13
Heisman
defensive
Trophy
touchdowns.
winner, fucking.
So,
I'm
Pro
still
Bowler.
going with Taylor though.
yeah, I'm going to take Chuck Taylor's too.
fucked up.
Just because of the social and
Yeah, the
impact. of Chuck, I love
Yeah.
Chuck Woodson, but I'm going to take Chuck Taylor's. Chuck Taylor's
Uh-huh.
versus Charlie Sheen.
Oh, Charlie Sheen, man.
I'm with you on this one. I'll take Charlie Sheen over Chuck Taylor's.
That dude's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Winning.
Yeah.
Winning.
As he got AIDS. Motherfucker got AIDS talking about winning. Like, what?
And then he donated his blood to Lil Nas X to put in those demon shoes.
Oh, God. Probably did.
I'm still going Taylor's though.
All right. Well, it's two against one. We're going winning over here.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen versus Charles Barkley.
Sheen.
Dude, I want to go with the Chuckster.
You going Barkley?
Yeah, man. Fucking Barkley's hilarious, dude. That dude's like one of the funniest fucking dudes on sports right now.
The only difference
for the last 20 years.
The only difference between Charlie Sheen and Chuck Barkley in the 80s and 90s
AIDS.
Is AIDS and who was getting thrown out of windows. One was getting thrown out of windows, one was throwing people out of windows.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Yeah, Barkley. Yeah, throwing motherfuckers. Yeah, that's hilarious.
You're going Sheen?
I'm going.
No, I'm going.
You're going Barkley?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going Sheen. Yeah.
Fuck. I'll go Barkley.
Okay.
I'll go
dude.
Barkley. I'd rather be with
He's
the
like
guy.
must-watch TV still, man. He's like 60-some years old. And anytime he's on TNT, I turn that shit on.
And to be honest with you, at least twice a month, I think him and Shaq might actually throw hands.
Oh, I know. I'm always waiting
He's
for
a
it
terrible
too, man.
fighter. We've seen it.
Dude,
but-
yeah, we already know. Right when it gets to the point where Shaq's about to fucking throw hands, Charles just starts laughing and shit like that, trying to like ease the tension before he gets his ass
you big
beat.
fella.
Yeah,
Got you, big fella.
My favorite part about that show though is when Shaq falls.
Yeah. Oh, dude, all the time.
When that cord wrapped around his foot not too long ago and he tripped
Or
and
when they
fell.
showed him-
He
or the-
busted his ass trying to...
He falls so slowly.
God, yes.
Hell
When
yeah.
he was trying to race Kenny to the screen.
Timber,
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
Or when they show his funky ass toes, man. That dude's got the most crooked toes I've ever seen in my life, man. His toes face west.
All right, we got two left. We got two left under
All right.
the greatest Charles of all time. We're trying to do the gag, the gray
All right.
area gauntlet to find out the greatest Charles of all time. Right now, we are with... Is it Barkley still? Barkley?
Yeah.
All right.
Barkley.
Barkley versus Charlie Murphy.
Oh, Charlie Murphy.
Yeah, Charlie Murphy, man. He changed, like, he helped change comedy. And
Wait, y'all are both taking Charlie
way.
Murphy over
Yeah.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, dude. That Prince sketch might be the funniest. It's one of the funniest sketches of all time, man.
Best
It's definitely in the top
storyteller,
3 to 5. Yeah, dude. He was, and just his history, man, having to be in the shadow of one of the greatest, entertainers of all time, and making his own way and finding his own niche, becoming partners with Dave Chappelle, the greatest stand-up comedian of all time. Like, yeah, dude. He helped make that,
Absolutely.
That definitely didn't happen without him.
All right. Well, then last one. Greatest Charles of all time. We have Charlie Murphy versus Chuck Norris.
Oh, fuck, dude. You son of a bitch.
Charlie Murphy,
I was
Chuck
just talking,
Norris.
dude. The other day I was at my girl's house, and I was watching Walker Texas Ranger. That show's fucking hilarious, man. Do you guys watch that shit?
No.
No, not
Dog,
now. I
that
did
show
back in the
is
day.
hilarious,
I never
man.
watched that.
Chuck Norris sings the opening too, which is like the funniest shit of all time. I was singing for you, but I'm just not going to do that.
Please.
I do
So
know this
please,
shit.
please
No.
indulge us.
No.
Indulge us.
Yeah.
In the eyes of a ranger, the unsuspecting stranger have better know the difference from wrong from right. That's what he says. It's like the total word salad. Because the eyes of the ranger are upon you. Anything you do, he's gonna know. When you're in Texas, look behind you. Because that's where the ranger's gonna be.
Colton, tag that. That's our clip. Tag it. Right there. That's the clip. You can drop that motherfucker today. Do it, Colton.
Dog, that's
There's gonna
my
be, like,
shit.
auto-tune
Dog,
remix on
yeah,
the
please.
fucking
We need
YouTube.
someone
TikTok
remix
the
that
fuck
shit.
out of that. We need to
Please.
TikTok that.
Someone remix that shit. Dog, that show is fucking hilarious, man. It's the worst acting, the worst writing of all time, but it's still hilarious, man. It's like, and Chuck Norris, he's just like so stone cold the whole time. It's like, how did this motherfucking show last like 20 years and shit? So my grandpa used to always watch that shit, and I think he watched it for like the comedic value, But we would watch it, and at the same time, we're like, he is kind of badass though, man. That motherfucker would tear some shit up.
My son, so my mother-in-law gave Zoe a like Chuck Norris action figure from like the 70s.
Mhm.
So he's got like all these toys and he's wrestling and fighting with them. And he always asks me to play. And he's always got like his WWE players or characters. And I always come in there and I'll grab the Chuck Norris toy. Because Chuck Norris
Just
is kind of
fuck
just
shit
sitting in
up.
the back. But it's one of those ones where you squeeze the legs and it does karate chop.
Oh, yeah.
So I just come and wreck his game.
Like, that's what Chuck Norris does, dog.
Because nobody, I was like, I tell him, Nothing beats the Chuck Norris karate chop. And I just come through and just chop all his toys and throw them across the room.
And-
Chuck Norris chop. Chuck Norris chop. He's like, but he's the strongest. He's dead. Chuck Norris chop. Gone.
And another thing is that this dude is like 75 years old and he is in amazing fucking shape, dude. I was looking at buying a Bowflex the other day. I was like chilling with my girl. And I was like, babe, look how fucking amazing, like how great a shape this motherfucker. He is 75. I'm about to put a picture of him above my bed like you do Michael Jackson, man. That motherfucker, he is fucking.
If you do that, you got to have his little lion mane hair chest.
Dog, he
That's got to be circa 78. 78 Chuck Norris.
Look up.
78.
If you're at the crib right now, look up Chuck Norris Bowflex. This motherfucker is tearing it up.
Better
still.
yet, Google sexy Chuck Norris.
Oh, jeez.
Just him with a rose in his mouth.
Anytime.
A silk shirt dancing a tango.
Him going to HEB is sexy Chuck Norris, man.
But he's got nunchucks in his hand. He's like dressed in a flamingo outfit with nunchucks.
That dude is in amazing shape.
So did y'all say is Chuck Norris the greatest Charles of all time?
Man, I don't know.
Torn though. That's a hard one.
Charlie Murphy, Chuck Norris.
Can we do a tie?
No, you can't. Who's the greatest Charlie of all time? Chuck Norris, Charlie Murphy.
Man, I'm probably going to say Charlie Murphy.
I was going to say the same thing.
All right, there it is. Charlie Murphy, greatest of all time. We got one more. Let's do it.
Shit.
Yes, I went hard today.
Okay.
This one, the greatest number twos of all time.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
We're going to run through this.
Oh, I can already tell you who this is.
First round, Kawhi Leonard versus Charles Woodson. I wasn't too worried about Charles losing in the last one because I knew Charles Woodson was on this one.
Charles Woodson.
And because he wore number 2 in college.
Oh, number twos. I
number
thought you
two.
meant like, yeah. Okay,
Number two.
Charles Woodson.
Charles Woodson, Kawhi Leonard. I can give you some stats. Hold on. Kawhi Leonard, 2-time champ, 2 times final MVP, 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-Defensive second team, 3-time All-Defense first team, 2-time All-NBA, Defensive Player of the Year twice. Charles Woodson was a Heisman winner, Defensive Player of the Year, Hall of Famer, 9-time Pro Bowler, and he has 13 defensive touchdowns.
All right, I'm going to give it a Woodson.
You're going to go Woodson?
Yeah.
He's like, okay, you got it.
Yeah. Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Kawhi just has a funny laugh.
He'll be
His laugh is terrible.
He'll definitely be in
But
the Hall
he's
of Fame,
good, though. Like,
Yeah.
I even argued, I think, as before last year, that he was better than LeBron, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree with that shit.
And I'm not even a LeBron guy, but I'm like, come on, dog.
Yeah.
Charles Woodson, number 2, versus Jason Kidd.
Charles Woodson.
Woodson, yeah.
Woodson over J Kidd?
Yeah.
Okay. Charles Woodson versus Hanley Ramirez.
Come on, dog.
Woodson.
I mean, he's a 2-time Silver Slugger, 3-time.
Don't nobody
All-Star.
even know who he is. They're like, is that Manny's fucking brother?
Manny was the shit.
Manny
Yeah,
was.
I
the
went and
shit.
saw that dude when he's playing at Round Rock,
Dog.
just so I could talk to him
Yeah,
through the
yeah.
fence. I was like, Manny! He's like,
Yeah.
mira.
He probably was.
Yeah. Then he went up there and he just like struck out and he's like, mira.
Yeah. He's like, I'm about to go drink a 40 in the fucking dugout.
I don't care. I'm the DH. I'm the DH. Look at my belly.
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa, I'm coming for you. All right. Charles Woodson versus Matt Ryan.
Woodson, come on.
Yeah, Woodson.
Charles Woodson versus Troy Tulowitzki.
The
Woodson.
fuck?
You don't know who Troy Tulowitzki?
I know who he is,
Okay.
man, but I didn't know he's number 2.
Yeah, he
And
was number
baseball
2.
numbers don't even matter. They don't need numbers.
They don't. I mean, they don't. Yeah.
Not at all.
So we're going Woodson again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Charles Woodson versus Derek Jeter.
Oh, shit.
Jeter.
Jeter, yeah, dude.
Jeter?
I love Charles Woodson, but dude, Jeter. At the same time, I mean, I don't know.
Gray area.
First
Jeter
and
was
only
the
Heisman
GOAT.
Trophy winner from the defensive side of the ball. Probably won't ever happen again.
I think
man.
Jeter gets it based
Yeah,
off of his
because-
off-field accolades over. No matter, on the field, it's a
Yeah.
wash.
Yeah.
But when you got bitches putting phones in a basket before they walk in your house,
Oh,
and then you
yeah.
give them a gift bag on the way out.
Yeah, that's some balling ass shit. Did you ever hear the story about like someone said that like when he fucks, he just starts saying his name?
I'm sure he looks at a picture of himself
Yeah, dog, no, he
on the
starts-
wall while he
he
does it. He just stares
He starts
at himself.
talking about himself in like third person. He's like, yeah, Jeets is getting it. Jeets.
Derek
I'm
Jeter
like,
appreciates
damn,
his
dude, this
pussy.
dude.
Derek-
He got like Jim Nance commentating and shit. He's like, Derek Jeter up the bat. He's sticking it in. He's fucking this bitch.
I
I'm like,
would say
damn.
Marv Albert could do it, but he'd probably be biting her on the back.
He
while
probably
he's-
would be, yeah, biting that booty and shit.
All right, last one. The greatest number 2 of all time. This is the gray area gauntlet right here with our guest Brandon in the studio. We have Derek Jeter versus Mr. Hanky for the greatest number 2 of all time.
Oh.
Mr. Hanky.
Mr. Hanky.
Who the fuck is Mr.
The Christmas poo.
Yeah, from South Park, man.
Oh.
Mr. Hanky, the
Oh, that
Christmas
Mr.
poo.
Hanky. Yeah. No, man. Derek Jeter.
Yeah, this is a hard one, but I'm going to go Jeter, too.
Oh, y'all don't respect the poo.
I do.
All All right, well, then there it is. The greatest number 2, according to the Gray Area Gauntlet right here on the Gray Area Podcast, is Derek Jeter. And the greatest Charles of all time is Charlie Murphy. Thank you for playing out with us.
Thank you.
I think we've really flushed out some things here. So, Internet, go ahead and
flushed out some things here. I think we flushed out some things here, guys. I think we're all ready to go. Well, is Chad ready for headlines?
Are you ready for headlines?
I'm ready. Oh, did you hear about this shit? I love how I sound like a late night talk show host. Did you hear about this? Have anybody heard about this? Southwest Airlines pilot on hot mic rants against Bay Area liberal fucks. Did you hear this shit? This shit is hilarious, man. So a pilot is accidentally on air and he's like talking to the rest of the fucking passengers and shit, and he's just talking shit about the Bay Area residents. Says,
was it Southwest, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly. Southwest. Southwest Airlines pilots recorded rant about Bay Area residents quickly went viral online this week, with the pilot at one point calling those who live in San Francisco goddamn liberal fucks.
It must have been the late night show, huh?
Dude, this shit, yeah, it must have been.
Had to be the red eye where you can work that blue material, huh?
But supposedly, this shit is hilarious. He goes, he said, quote, "Fuck this place, goddamn liberal fucks." And he was interrupted by air traffic personnel who, and then he didn't give a shit. He just kept going. He later continues his rant saying, "Fucking weirdos, probably driving around in fucking Hyundais."
Oh, this must have
I love how he says Hyundais and not like Priuses or some shit.
This must have been a nonstop flight from Charlotte.
Yeah, fucking
straight out of the South. Just goddamn liberal commie motherfuckers out here saving the earth with their electric cars.
Yeah. He said fucking roads and shit that go slow as fuck. So it's roads that go slow as fuck. Supposedly, you don't have balls unless you're fucking rolling coal, man. God damn it. He said,
rolling coal.
I love how does this motherfucker become a pilot in the first place?
This is a hot five.
Yeah.
Like, you might want to book this dude at Vulcan. Hit him up.
Yeah.
This is great. He would kill.
This shit is hilarious.
Temple, Texas, he'd kill.
Yeah, man. So that shit is hilarious, man. And I don't know what the hell happened to him, if he got fucking fired or whatnot.
Doesn't matter. He's already a legend.
That shit's hilarious, man. Georgia man receives final paycheck all in pennies. I beat somebody's ass for
petty.
This shit.
That's petty as fuck.
Yeah. Georgia man receives final $915 paycheck and 90,000 pennies.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. This is fucked up, man.
That's fucking hilarious.
So,
that's so
and actually, it's not, it gets worse, man. He received $915 paycheck and 90,000 grease covered pennies from disgruntled ex-boss after he quit over toxic work culture. So he's like, dude, you proved my point. This is why I don't fucking work here anymore. Andreas Flatten quit his job at A.O.K. Walker Auto Works in Peachtree City, Georgia, after constant staff turnover and difficult work environment took a toll. Says he gave 2-week notice. Last November, boss Miles Walker literally, quote, froze and stared at me for like a straight minute. It's hilarious. He's like, "How dare you, motherfucker?" Blah, blah, blah. Months later, he found a huge pile of greasy pennies in front of his, this was in front of his home too, which is hilarious. He just dropped them off like, "Here's your fucking money, bitch."
The dedication to this bit, like,
yeah, I know, dude.
How long
he went and got them. Yeah,
90,000.
And
then to transport them,
and then to make them greasy as shit. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna need 90,000 pennies and a fucking quart of motor oil." You know what I'm saying? That's what I need.
It's like those are all the pennies from the bottom of his Scrooge McDuck towers. Like, dig all the pennies out the bottom. Them motherfuckers that have been there since like '93. Dude, all of those motherfuckers.
This is fucking. I think this is hilarious, man. I think this boss is hilarious. He said months later, he's like complaining that he didn't get paid and shit. Months later, he found a huge pile of greasy pennies in front of his home with a note saying, "Fuck you." No, that's fucking hilarious, man. This dude is baller as shit. He don't give a fuck. He's like, "Hey, I paid him, bitch. All right, you can't complain about it." They're like, they were grease filled. He's like, "Hey, I fucked. Was it pennies?" He's like, "Was it change?
Man,
was it cash?"
Look, real talk. That's grounds to beat his ass.
Yeah, oh no, he should get his ass beat
on principle. Like,
yeah,
I'm feeling some. I'm definitely getting aggravated right now. I'm feeling some type of way. Like, I want to go to Peachtree, Georgia,
dude. This shit
and
is
put
hilarious.
90,000 drops of piss on his forehead.
Yeah. This shit is hilarious. So they asked the dude, Miles Walker, they got a hold of him. They said, "Hey, did you do this?" He goes, "I don't really remember." It doesn't matter. He got paid. That's all that matters. I don't remember if I did it. And if I did, fuck him.
Greatest walker of all time.
Dude.
Texas Ranger. This dude.
This dude, yeah, for real.
This guy takes
He's
got a better theme song, I guarantee you.
Yeah, this is hilarious.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a
They said they interviewed the dude who quit. His girlfriend said, "My boyfriend respectfully delivered his uniforms, washed and in a box, complete with another letter as to why he was leaving early." And I'm sure the boss was just like, "This little fucker's just agitating me, man. He's just trying to start shit with me, you know." So then he left 90,000 pennies in his fucking yard. He said, with many of the pennies, we're bound to find a new treasure. I've already found one from 1937. That would be hilarious if one of these pennies was worth like $20,000 or some shit, man. Just like, dude, gotcha, bitch. Yeah, man, that's hilarious. So that dude's cool as shit. Did you hear about ravens stealing groceries?
Like Ray Rice?
No.
Lamar Jackson, ain't nobody getting their groceries back if L-Jack gets them.
Yeah. It wasn't like
Ray Lewis?
Yeah.
You can have him. He's not stealing. I gave it to him.
Yeah, he's done worse than steal. That motherfucker will shoot you. I'll stab you. I don't give a shit. But no, in Anchorage, Alaska. So this is fucking hilarious. Some Alaska Costco shoppers said they've had their groceries stolen by ravens in the store parking lot. Matt Lewin said he was packing his groceries into his car in the parking lot of an Anchorage Costco when ravens swooped in to steal a short rib from his cart. That's the funny. It's a short rib. He's like, "Hey man, leave the fucking turkey and the fucking sandwich bread and shit. We don't want that. Get that fucking short rib." He said the short rib was like 4 by 7 inches too. He said 2 of them. They just like fucking double teamed this motherfucker. He said, "I literally took 10 steps away and turned around. 2 ravens came down and instantly grabbed one out of the package, ripped it out, and flew off with it."
Out of the package?
Yeah, so they didn't even want the package. They were
That's
like,
Ray
"Fuck
Rice.
this
It was
shit."
Ray Rice. Don't lie to me. Ain't no bird stealing no goddamn rib. I know it's Ray Rice. He ain't been the same since the elevator. Goddamn it.
Yeah, right. He said they know what they're doing. It's not their first time. They're very fat, so I know they've got a whole system here.
It's like I feel like in Alaska, the ravens were probably stealing their groceries before they had grocery stores. Like when they were hunting shit, these ravens were just, "Nah, that's my moose. Fuck you," and just pulling off. Then I was like, "Oh, it's already cooked. Even better. Now I'll just steal that shit too."
Yeah. He said, "I cut the meat and started." He said he noticed Raven had taken a bite out of another rib. This dude only buys ribs, apparently. This is all he gets. He's like,
wait, he said he took 2 steps away and all this happened? How did 2 steps did a bird? 10. Okay, 10 steps? Well, that's your fault. Why are you creating that type of distance between your groceries and shit?
Yeah. His
must not be
like,
homeless
"Hey, honey,
around there.
Here's the last of our money. Go to the store and only get the essentials." He's like, I know. Nothing but ribs. Shit. Fuck it. I know, bitch.
When you first read that headline, though, I thought you meant Raven, like the actress.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like That's So Raven.
Oh,
that would be
Simone?
so Raven.
Yeah, Raven.
For her to...
You take 10 steps and look back and Raven Simone is eating your ribs?
Yeah, that would be so Raven of her to steal somebody's rib. That's just so Raven.
Whoopi, holla at me.
That is actually exactly what I expected from Raven, you know?
I was not surprised.
That is so.
But so he said that he cut the meat out and started marinating, and his wife said, "That's gross. We should take it back." Costco actually took it back even after we had started marinating them and gave us a full refund. They were like, "Hell yeah, job's halfway done, man. We're fucking eating this shit. I don't give a fuck." Yeah, so a lot of other people are saying the same shit. They're just like, one of them grabbed a melon, dude, off the cart. I don't know how these fuckers are strong as shit, man. God
These
damn.
must be the ravens from Dumbo.
These are like the ravens.
These are those from Dumbo. I see an elephant fly.
Dude,
Hey, let me get one of them ribs and some of that watermelon right quick, player.
Dude, somebody referred to the ravens as calculating. These fucking ravens are calculating. God damn, these people are getting outsmarted by fucking ravens, man. It's hilarious. So yeah, that does it for headlines, man.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, so we want to start the interview portion of this show here now, brother. So for people that don't know, you started Big Laugh Comedy recently.
Yeah, not really recently.
Okay, so you started doing shows in Austin at Vulcan recently, right? In the last 6 months or so?
Yeah, since October.
So we just want to know, how did you start Big Laugh? How did this come to fruition? Okay. And what's the genesis of it? And how did you do this, especially get so big, during a pandemic of all things, too?
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, right.
I was talking to a few people, and they were like, "Hey, how's your pandemic going? Or how was the Corona fucking lockdown?" I was like, "Pretty fucking good."
Yeah, dude. I'm killing it, actually.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I feel horrible saying it because everyone's going through a lot of shit, but it's the matter of the fact. But I started producing shows 4 years ago. Okay. And doing bar shows in Leander.
Okay.
Cool. Leander, Texas. That's where I live.
Okay.
So we started doing shows up there, and it was when I started doing stand-up. It was probably like 5 years ago. I started doing stand-up down here. We moved from Chicago 6 years ago. And so when we moved down here about a year into it, I was like, I'm going to start doing stand-up. So I started doing it, but I was quickly realized that it wasn't really my strong suit. Like I love comedy. I grew up watching Eddie Murphy, George Carlton, all those. And I'm big fan. My dad used to play Bobby Slayton in the car and Andrew Dice Clay on the way to school and shit like that. Probably when I shouldn't be listening to him, but I was like, whatever. So I grew up on those type of people. And so when I started doing, I came to a realization. I was like, man, you know, like you only live life once. I'm like, you got to start doing shit that you love to do. And I was working like marketing job. I've always been an entrepreneur, but I just didn't feel that passion for it. So I was like, I got to do something I really love. And comedy was it. I tried doing it. And at first it was all right. The problem was that, and this is something that might cause a little controversy.
Yeah. Oh, but we're all for it, man.
Yeah,
bring it. Shit.
But the community, well, the so-called community here in Austin prior to the pandemic was not very strong.
Yeah.
In the sense of not saying that there wasn't stage time or anything along those lines, but when you use the word community, right? Like how I think of a community is that everybody's in it together. Right? Like you help each other out. Doesn't matter where you are in your career or life or whatever. If you need help, that's what a community is for.
Yeah.
I quickly realized that when I moved here to Texas, like from Chicago to Texas, Texas is actually a community. Chicago is like everyone's for your fucking self, you know? And it was like, so when I got thrown into it, people were bumping me down lines. They were not like giving me advice. I was trying to talk to people and they just weren't giving me the time of day. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start doing my own stuff.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur, I knew how to like take the initiative. And so that's what I did. I started producing.
Allow me to offer you the counter argument to that.
Sure.
Because I agree with you.
Yeah.
But there's people that think contrary.
I'm sure they do.
So like if somebody was to say like, well, it's not on the community to do that, it's on you to take the initiative to make those contacts and to make those strides. What would you say if...
Well, I tried doing that.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It's like I would go to the open mics and I'd try to talk to the guys who host open mics. And literally they would look at me like I was like the new kid and they didn't want anything to do with me. You know, they were like...
That's the story. That's the MO around here. It's definitely like I think everybody has that story of moving to Austin and trying to get into the scene and being immediately shunned by the scene.
Exactly.
Like that's definitely, I think, something I experienced, something Chad experienced. That's a story that I've heard
over and over.
Yeah.
How long
over
have you guys been here?
I've been here 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved here in 2008, but I took a 5-year break from comedy from like 2009 to 2014.
Okay.
I noticed that in 2009. But then when I came back to comedy in 2014, I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I started in San Antonio. So I was like, well, I'll just go to San Antonio and do it.
Yeah.
It's only an hour away.
And how was that?
Fine. It was great. I mean, stage time, got paid to do shows and stuff. I mean,
that's awesome.
It was I knew everybody there. It was more of the community that you're talking about.
Sure.
So,
but yeah.
So when you say, just to let our listeners know, because some people aren't comics, when he's talking about being bumped down lists, he's like, so you go to an open mic, you sign up, and then they reorder the list.
Yep.
You know, so if you get there, so some mics in Austin and other places, obviously, you have to get there early as fuck if you want to, you know, get home with at any decent hour.
Yep.
And you're a family man, you have kids, you know, so you have a wife, I have a son, you know what I'm saying? We can't just be hanging out at open mics till fucking midnight every night and shit. And so when you go to sign up for these mics, you might get there early as fuck. Say the mic starts at 8, you get there at 7:15 to sign up. And then whoever's hosting the mic will put their friends or people they know above you. And then so you might be the fourth person to sign up, but you end up going 37th or some shit. And so you're there for 3 hours to do a 3 or 4 minute set. And it's not really befitting for someone that has a family, that has a regular job, all these other things. And it's just fucking rude. You know what I'm saying?
It is rude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing is like, it's not so much like you don't need to know my situation, but the fact of the matter is I took the time and effort to show up early, get up on top of the list so I could get out of there early. But yet then you fucking have the audacity to push me down.
Yeah.
That's
someone
bullshit.
that just shows up 5 minutes before their set, does it, and then leaves while you've been there for an hour and a half. Yeah. No, it's very frustrating, dude. Yeah. We've all definitely, had that happen to us. And it's annoying. So you experienced that a lot coming into the Austin comedy scene.
I did.
And so you decided like, fuck this, I'm going to do my own thing.
So I was working, I have had a marketing company is what my background is. And so I was marketing for Buffalo Billiards on 6th Street.
We used to do a show there, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I started doing an open mic there.
Oh, badass.
And they were cool with it.
Was it upstairs?
Yeah, it was upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, you used to run that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, dude, yes.
I stopped in there a couple times back in the day.
What years was that? Because either before or after you, I don't know.
There was a few shows before that never worked out.
Yeah, that was us. It never worked out. Yeah.
But I used to have, I think it was probably like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, yeah. So that was after us.
Yeah. So,
sure.
But I had like some of the regulars came in there, like Colton would come in there often, like every Thursday. Because he knew he would get stage time and a lot of stage time because we didn't have more than like maybe like 8 or 10 comics come through each night. And so it worked out really well. I mean, it didn't make a whole lot of profit, obviously, because open mics don't. That's just exactly the nature of the beast. Yeah. But that's when I started doing that. But then my friends who are all older and working class people, they were like, hey, I want to see you do comedy. They're very supportive, but they didn't want to drive all the way down to 6th Street. So I was like, fuck it, what can I do? So I was like, hey, I worked with one of my friends kind of coming in through this who really opened his arms and helped me out quite a bit was Dan French.
Okay.
And so Dan has a long history in the comedy world, lived in LA, wrote for late night shows.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know
No,
Dan.
I know the name.
Yeah. So real cool guy. Love him. He was pretty much the only person that kind of took me under his wing and helped me out. And he always told me that, like, he gave me the scoop on the scene and so forth and some of the comics. But
spill dirt. Let's be petty. Let's put 90,000 pennies on the table right now.
God, dude, the way
name names.
Yes. The way people
Greasy
reacted
pennies.
to that, the way people reacted to that recent news article in KView. I'm not even trying to stir these motherfuckers up. God damn. Apparently they have nothing better to do, but that's besides the point.
When you said the penny story,
you were thinking about
the note. They wrote the note, fuck you.
Yeah.
Someone on Twitter quoted my quote in KView and then tweeted underneath it, fuck you, Brandon. I was like, I laughed so hard. I thought it was the funniest thing.
It's hilarious, man. I don't know if you knew this, but you have to get all interviews have to be approved by the Austin comedy overlords before you're allowed to give them. Don't dare fucking try and expand your career. If someone comes and put a microphone in your face, just say, hey, actually, I've only been doing comedy 2 years. Why don't you drive fucking 10 miles and go interview somebody else that hasn't done comedy in a year? I don't deserve it. That's what you should have done. Yeah. Next time you'll know.
Yes.
Next time, now you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you started doing shit in Leander.
Yeah. So I found actually it was in Cedar Park first. It was what was the brewery? White Stone Brewery.
Okay.
And so we hooked up with them, and they're like, yeah, we got a room. First show we did, worked with Dan. He helped me out to figure out, like, hey, there's some local like headliners here that you could really bring in. Now, Dan has done it himself, so I actually put him as the first headliner. And then we had a couple other comedians come up, and I even had, I think Ty was on there and a few other people, but we paid everybody. Like we charged tickets. The average ticket price was about $17. And we sold 100 tickets.
Dude, what's up?
We sold it out so much that people were trying to get tickets after it sold out.
What's up?
And it was just from marketing. Like I would say about a fourth of the people that came there were friends of mine, but the rest were coming from like Facebook or other ways. Because again, that's my background.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and the show was great. People loved it. They loved the fact that they didn't have to travel to Austin to go see a comedy show and like a professional comedy show. So we did it again, and I think the second person, Mike McCreary.
No, that's old boy from Family Matters.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah.
That was Eddie Winslow. Goddammit.
McCreary. Mike McCreary. He used to be on like Mad TV. Does a lot of voices.
Okay.
Funny ass dude.
Yeah.
And he lives local, and he's like a legit headliner. Goes around comedy clubs and plays. So he came and headlined the second show. We did 85 tickets that time.
Damn.
Yeah. So things were going good, and we did a pretty good job. And then I got busy with work. Like my agency took off and was getting really busy. So I took a step back for about a year. But then like in July or I think it was May 2019, people just kept on coming up to me. People that I knew were like, hey, Brandon, when are you going to do another comedy show? When are you going to do another comedy show? And the biggest problem when I did the comedy shows originally, the first couple, I did 10 minutes on top because I wanted my friends to see me. But I always felt more pressure from actually doing the comedy
than putting on the whole show. Yeah.
So to me, when they were like, hey, you should do it again, I was like, fuck it. I'll do it again, but I'm not going to do comedy. It'll be a lot easier just to produce the show.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started doing that. And I had to find a different venue because White Zone just wasn't working out. So we found Leander Beer Market and we started doing shows over there. We could fit a little bit more people on there. They've just put a new patio at the time out there. So we packed that fucking thing out again, man. And we kept doing it on a monthly basis and pretty much sold out every show up until our last show there was in February of 2020. We did a show with Carter Anderson called In the Meantime. And it was a show he came up with. Yeah. And it was funny as fuck.
Yeah, Carter's funny, man.
Yeah, he's great. And that concept is fucking genius. We're still going to try to figure out how to make it work. But but going into, we were doing so well in 2019 that I was like, I'm going to go full time into comedy. Like, this is what I want to do with my life. So I made it an effort to do it. And I tried during that time, I was talking to agents and agencies, or at least trying to. They wouldn't give me the fucking time of day, or they would give me a fuck you offer. Damn. Like I remember, and luckily I had never went through with this, but I reached out to Chris D'Elia's people. They wanted like $200,000 for a show. Yeah, it was a fuck off deal. That's what it was. And I talked to people who were in the industry, like Dan and other people. Are like, yeah, man. They're like, that's just a fuck you offer. Damn. Like, there's no way they were really trying to take you seriously. Yeah, and rightfully so, because I was not really a big name at the time. And so, you had the local promoters, Paramount, Moon Tower, the other comedy club that was here at the time. And so the name that we won't speak of.
Are we not saying that name?
No,
we're not saying that.
You're trying to start some shit, goddamn.
Yeah, look at you.
I fucking love it, bro.
Yo, let me ask you something, because like so far, like I wanted to wait till later to ask you, but fuck it, let's ask. I'm asking you now. Like, what did you take from marketing that worked so well with coming over to comedy? Because clearly you took your background and you were able to leverage that to get people to come out to shows and then ultimately form Big Laugh Comedy. Yeah. What was it about in marketing that you took that applied so well to comedy?
What it was to me is a couple different things. Like when you look at a content, right? When you write something for marketing, you have to speak to the person, right? And you have to kind of sell them through it. What you see a lot of times with comedians or just like comedy and they try to advertise, it's always like, we have this person coming at this date and that's it. There's no draw in. And so what I was always taught is that how we did marketing was that we wanted to sell things. We sold fucking everything possible. So to sell stuff, you have to draw people in. It's that first line that grabs people. So typically what I would do is say something catchy in the beginning, like, do you want to laugh your asses off? But you can't say that on social media and advertising because you can't swear on it. But you got to do like, do you want to laugh your face off? Something along those lines. Grabs our eyes, right? Because the first 3 seconds is what you have to grab someone's attention. And then the rest of it, they stay there. So that's what we did. Like it's the content, it's using video instead of fucking photos. Nowadays it's more video than photos, but back then it was even photos too. Like I would use photos of the audience laughing instead of the actual comedian.
Right.
Because they want to see what they're going to be in or what they expect.
They want to envision themselves in that seat.
Exactly. So that's what it just came down to. It's good content writing. It's knowing how to do it. And then it's targeting too, right? Like sometimes you go broad. Sometimes you go really specific. It just depends on the audience, but it's all a testing process.
How much of it was common sense versus stuff that you learned like through the trade of working in marketing?
Oh, it was mostly trade.
Mostly trade?
Wow.
So like, because I'm thinking of like a lot of comedians when we try to market shows we're doing.
Yeah, we don't know shit.
It's like we try to go off of what's common sense to us.
Yeah.
And I think we're making mistakes that somebody that learned from the trade. So it's mostly stuff you learned.
Yeah. This is all, it's psychology is a lot of it. And so I've read books from all the marketing greats, and even going back into like the 1920s or 30s when comedy, like Mad Men era, right? Like when that shit was coming about, they always talk about is always comes down to copywriting and understanding your audience. Also, getting people to kind of try it too. Those things kind of work too. Comedy is not that way. It's very like black and white, right? There's no gray area.
There we go. Nice little plug, man. Thanks.
But it really comes down to you're either going to buy a ticket or you're not going to buy a ticket, right? That's really what you're selling when you're doing stuff like that. So that's what it comes down to. Is just understanding people. And I think from my perspective, I had been a fan before actually getting into comedy and also attending comedy shows. I knew what I wanted to see, what I wanted to hear.
You want it to be unique. I've heard you say like you didn't want it to be like cookie cutter. They're like the place you don't want to name and shit. You said that like their setup and shit was, you felt it was boring. You felt it was like, also ran. Everyone was doing this shit, saying the 2 drink minimums and all this stuff. Like, you wanted to be different than that.
Yeah, well, it's not just them. I mean, like if you talk about any comedy club in the nation, it's like, kind of how they run things. And it's because they have a norm. But like, I've always come from the world of don't be like other people, because how are you going to separate yourselves from others? And so a lot of times it could just take like little things, right? Like just by not having the 2 drink minimum, like, first of all, I thought about this last night. When do you go to a fucking bar and they ask you or tell you before you step in there, you have to buy 2 drinks?
Yeah, you probably wouldn't go.
No. You would walk the fuck out of there.
Yeah, you're not going to tell me what I am.
Because you go in there and it's like fucking weird and smells like butt. You're going to leave, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a place on 6th Street that smells like a goddamn Foot Locker or some shit. You're like, nah, dog, we're leaving right now.
I mean, that's kind of like how us as Americans are built. When you tell us what we got to do, then we're like, it's an instant fuck you valve. It's like, oh, I got to do that?
Yes.
Oh, I'm getting water.
I bet the fuck I don't. Watch me get 2 waters and some fried pickles.
Let me get water and some mozzarella sticks, bitch. That's my 2 items. And a napkin. There's 3. Get the fuck out.
But when you don't tell them and you just let them enjoy themselves and they're not thinking, did I already do... Like they just have more fun. They're better audience members. They're happier. And they're probably going to drink more.
Yeah. I mean, I know for a fact that people who come to our comedy shows drink at least 4 drinks per person.
Wow.
Oh, you getting them lit.
Yeah, man. Because they're having a good time.
Yeah.
Plus, their shows run really long.
And then, and then you provide Ubers back, right? Or limousines to get them home safely?
Limousines to Red Rose or Yellow Rose.
Oh, okay. Well, we're riding with you on that, right? We're all going there together, yes.
Yellow
Shout
Rose.
out to them.
Red Rose.
What you doing up there, man?
They're going to become sponsors.
Oh, for real? What's up, dude? Dude, that's fucking badass, man.
I haven't been to the Red Rose since it opened. Have you been in there?
Huh?
Like, I haven't been to the Red Rose since it reopened as the Red Rose. Like, I used to go to Expose every Sunday because it was free on Sundays.
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course.
Like, let me get a pork chop. And
I'm not spending money. I just came in here to see what y'all bitches was doing.
Yeah, I bet they loved you. I bet they loved your ass there. They're like, oh, here goes Cheatham. Here goes Cheap Cheatham in this motherfucker. Everyone keep your titties away from Cheap Cheatham. This motherfucker don't tip shit. He tried to tip me in a short rib the other day.
Andre Ricks was friends with one of the girls that worked there.
Of course he was, man.
So I would go up there and kick it with Ricks.
Yeah.
Like, we would go up there. I'd go up there and I knew Ricks would be sitting
just sitting in the corner looking at everybody's girlfriend's titties.
Just fucking catching up and shit. But anyways, I haven't been there since it's reopened as the Red Rose.
Yeah.
Have you been? Were you there before it was the Red Rose? Okay.
So I've only been to Yellow Rose.
I've never even been to Yellow Rose, man.
It's been a long time.
I'm a Southside stripper kind of guy. I mean, I don't, not anymore, of course, but back in my crazy days, oh shit.
Last week?
Shit.
Last Tuesday?
Dog, I can't do that anymore. Dog,
Happy hour and wings?
Dog, they don't open before I go to sleep, man. No, man. No, back in the day, we hit up Palazzo and shit. Fucking get some ecstasy up in that ass. You want to fucking
literally.
yeah, for real. You can finger bang some bitches up there. Oh, but yeah.
So Red Rose and Yellow Rose are going to be sponsors?
Well, we're talking with them.
All right, that's dope.
Yeah, they're friends of Nick who runs Vulcan, and so they actually, I believe they actually started sponsoring
Kill Tony this past Monday.
Wow. Yeah, Fix too. So Fix and
the
Red
restaurant?
Rose, Fix
Vodka.
Oh, vodka.
Both those companies are friends with Nick, and that's actually kind of how they got to becoming Kill Tony, because Tony
awesome.
and Red Band always are regulars at our shows.
Yeah.
And so we always support them, go to Kill Tony and so forth. And then the guys were like, hey, we would love to be on the podcast. And so we kind of hooked it up. And so, but John, who runs Red Rose and Yellow Rose now, has been in talks about doing something. We just have to figure out how exactly. I already know how we're going to do it.
Dog, you just have like in between, you just have like girls with the titties out come in and introduce comics. They're just like, hey, if you guys want to see the next comic, make some noise.
Well, I know at Kill Tony, he used them to, he had a worker or employee from Red Rose that came and she was the mic switcher outer in between comics and cleaned the mic stand.
She showed her butthole in between.
She did it strippery.
She's like, "Here's a little butthole for you."
You know, she kind of dropped down, got her eagle on while she was cleaning the mic stand.
I'm not trying to have a boner. I'm not trying to have my dick hard while I'm watching comedy, man. This is fucking
Red
weird.
Band did.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. Yeah, this is gonna be confusing. I'm like laughing and fucking horny at the same time. Like, this is fucking weird, man.
Fuck my jokes. I just want to stare for a minute. It's just gonna be a creep for a minute. I'm gonna just stare.
Like, I'm going to the bathroom real quick. I gotta work on my set.
I just hold that picture of Michael Jackson next to her. Go, yeah, I finna.
I'm about to tear that ass up.
Now, man.
Yeah, Billie Jean.
Yeah, right?
Somebody play Billie Jean. Somebody play Billie Jean. Come on. Turn this shit
I'm
on.
finna beat it. I'm finna beat it. God damn it. Give you all this dirty Diana. I told you I can do this all goddamn day.
That's fucking hilarious, man.
So
all right, so you how do you move from with your marketing background from running these shows in Leander? How did you get into the city and then downtown?
So that was the thing is like I made it a goal in 2019. I was like, hey, I'm fucking love this shit. I want to do it full time. Let's go full out 2020. So I started talking to agents and they just weren't giving me the time of day. Fuck you offers, like I said. But then I got a hold of Adam, who runs ICM Partners. And Adam,
what's that?
It's a agency.
Okay.
And so they have, I think, like Chris Rock is one of their clients.
What's up?
Donnell Rawlings.
Yeah, he's a shit.
Yeah, and a ton of people. They rep some really great comedians. And Adam, who's literally the head of the department.
Greenspan? What's his last name?
It starts with a G.
Okay.
But it has it's Italian, so I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll fucking murder.
Yeah.
I just know Jew names. I don't know Italian names.
Me too. Yeah, exactly.
If it's got a ski at the end, I'm down. Yeah.
Or Stein.
Yes.
Yeah, Stein. I think ski is Polish, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
There's Jews in Poland.
Yeah, there's quite a bit. So I talked to Adam. Adam was fucking super cool. He was the only person that took about 30 minutes out of his day to talk to me. And like, he was like, listen, Brandon, he's like, this is what you got to do. He asked me what my plan was. My plan was going to go really big. He's like, scale it back, to go from 100 people shows to 300 people shows, build up your email list. Then you could start doing bigger shows from there. I was like, bet. Like, that's fucking perfect. That's all I needed, right? And like, he helped me kind of define the path I needed to go down to get to where my initial goals were. So I took it back, and we were going to work out some stuff with him, but I actually worked out a deal with Dean Del Rey, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, he's hilarious, man.
I saw him open for Bill Burr in 2017 and 2018.
I was probably there too.
Yeah, ACL.
Yeah.
It was a great fucking show. He killed it. His 15 minutes, I've
seen him at the Comedy Store many times, man. He is fucking hilarious.
So good. And the one thing, he's great with crowd work too. Like he did a show with us March 7th, 2020.
Oh, wow.
Downtown Austin.
Damn, right before the shit.
It was a week before everything shut down.
Shit.
Before the country shut down. So we were expecting 300 people. We got 110 to come out. So it hurt us a little bit financially, but it was a great experience. Dean was fucking awesome. He crushed it. People loved him. So we had to pivot, right? Like, things shut down. And what we did is we went online. We just started doing shows. So actually, Carter Anderson's show, in the meantime, was perfect for doing it online, because it was all about creating memes, and that could be perfectly done over the screen and people could still participate.
Nice.
So we built an experience around that, and we started doing it, and we did it really like half-ass at first. We just used Zoom and like put it on Facebook
Okay,
Live.
I remember those shows.
Yeah, and they started picking up. But then we got people to start offering to help us to make it look better. So I brought on a friend of mine from Milwaukee, who is a branding expert in all things media. And so he started helping out, creating things, making it look prettier. This guy locally had some background with media and putting things out. So he helped us with the production side, how to make it look better, transition, all that stuff. So we about 5 episodes in, we looked professional. Like
Nice.
it was like
Wow.
fucking
Nice.
legit, dude. And then we started to I formed a team that was helping out with all this. And that's when we started talking about changing the name, because originally the company, when I was running it, the production company was called Money in the Bank Productions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan, and
Yeah,
I'm Jewish.
Tone that back, though. Tone that back. Yeah.
So
Little Scrappy's come looking for you. You don't want that drama.
Exactly.
You know?
One of my favorite songs still to this day.
Yo, I love Scrappy.
Yeah, dude, he slaps. So fucking we changed the name. We came up, we're like, we're gonna change the name because we wanted to go big, right? And so we thrown out all these names and just Big Laugh Comedy stuck. Like it was available, but it just stuck. It felt right in a lot of different ways. And so that's what we did. And we transitioned to doing things online. But when we did the online, the goal with the online stuff was actually really twofold. It was, and this is still true to this day, even though we're not doing stuff online right now, is that we wanted to help comedians have an outlet, because I understood when you shut down and you don't get stage time, like it's fucking hard, right?
Dude,
like
depression sets in after a couple months. I definitely experienced that shit, man.
So
not depression, but yeah, just like you lose your sense of self, man. When all you know and what you identify as is totally taken from you. It sucks, man.
It does. And you know, me personally, I didn't experience that, but I could have some empathy for what you guys were going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck it, let's do this. And so we started to offer these shows to other people and coming up with other show ideas. But our shows, and let me just be clear, they were never online Zoom stand-up shows.
Mm-hmm.
They were comedy-related shows, but they had like a theme behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like In the Meantime was a meme show. It was more like a game show. We had Triple Threat, which was like a variety show in a sense, which was fucking hilarious. We had like kind of podcast interview kind of style stuff too. But it was never just Zoom stand-up because I didn't like it. I know people were doing it. People still doing it. It's hard to do stand-up and not in front of a crowd.
Did you do Zoom shows?
I did 2. I did the first Comedy Wham one during the pandemic.
How was it?
It was okay. I was at Ty's house though. So me, Ty, and Lando did it from Ty's stage, and then realized, this is not exactly what it was like. This is way different. Especially it was like the first one, so you couldn't hear people.
Yes,
so it was just us, like me relying on Ty and Lando to laugh. Yeah, and it's like.
Lando don't laugh at shit.
Exactly. I was like, you was just laughing at this before I got on the stage, and now you're not laughing at this.
Lando don't laugh at shit, man.
So, and then I did one like a private show for Laredo. They had Laredo Funny was doing a Zoom show, and I hopped on that and did like 20 minutes. I could actually hear people, but I'd rather play
that's
games
weird as fuck, man. I didn't even want to try that.
Like, all those games you can play online that are like, what's that one?
People like jacking off and shit.
No. I don't remember what it's called, but it's one where like everybody puts in an answer, and then people watching vote on which answer was the funniest.
Okay.
I forgot what it's called. I'll look it up. I'll let you know. But
all right,
that's a fun game that I've played a couple times online. It's like,
nice.
You get comedians to really be spontaneous and creative on the spot and come up with some real good shit. So like, I did that a couple times. I can't think of the name of that game, but I'll think of it. I'll let you know.
So then you transitioned from doing this to. So you got Big Laugh, you got the name and everything like that. And then so you transitioned from this. And then what made you think like, hey, or at what time were you like, okay, we can get back to doing live shows now? Yeah.
So we actually, with our online shows, we had about 10 shows running at one time.
Oh, wow.
So we grew it pretty large, but we noticed that numbers were going down. And then at the same time, things were opening up.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I noticed is that, but I was really torn because I've never been an anti-masker or like fuck COVID. I've always believed in it and respected it. Mm-hmm. So I wanted, if we were going to go back into doing it, I wanted to do it the right way, right? Like I didn't want to put people at risk. I didn't want to have to like feel like people were forced to come out, but it's like people wanted to go out. There was a lot of people who wanted to go see live entertainment, just get out of the house, especially when things started to lift. So we started researching. Like I saw people were doing shows. We looked at like doing drive-in shows. Mm-hmm. We looked at even doing shows at Stubbs. Like I actually went to Stubbs and talked with them before Dave decided to do all his stuff with them. But it never worked out. And so what did happen was that the stars aligned, and it goes to show when you are going down the right path, the universe gives you those things, man. Mm-hmm. And so we had Sarah, who's been helping us out since the online days. And she knew Nick, who's the owner of Vulcan, and Nick put it out on Facebook that he was opening Vulcan back up. But Vulcan was and still is the #1 EDM club in Austin. And so, but because he relied on people in standing room and everything like that, you couldn't do that during COVID. So he had to pivot to be able to offer other
Everyone's
things.
Molly supply like dried up. And he's like, look, business is terrible right now, man. We need a truckload of Molly and we need to fucking open shit up.
We need people in
Otherwise, I'm going to lose my fucking shirt over here. All right, man. Right. All right. We need Molly and some fucking beats stat.
Were you on the other phone when we were talking? That's exactly
That's basically what I heard. He's like, look, man, not only am I fucking freaking out, my whole fucking fan base is like, sober for once in their lives. It's fucking weird. All right.
They're knitting and shit
they're being productive members of society, instead of just
bullshit.
trancing for fucking entire weekends at a time. Yeah.
So Nick he was just like, so he put it out, they want to do different things and comedy being one of them. And so I told him like, hey, I was like, listen, I got the contacts with the agents and some of the comedians. I'm like, we can put some stuff together. So I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So we worked out a great deal.
I bet he's glad he did that shit. God
he's
damn.
very happy with it.
Dude, what a fucking awesome decision.
It was. I mean, we never knew what it was going to turn into, right?
Yeah.
All the stars just started to line.
Jesus Christ,
but,
man.
It turned out pretty fucking well.
Yeah, man.
And the first couple shows, we had Corey Michaelis from Tacoma, Seattle area. He's funny as hell, has a good dry bar special. So we brought him in. Did pretty decently. Then we had Ida Rodriguez. She came out, and I was expecting her to be a little bit larger turnout. But again, fan bases, you have to understand who's coming out, who's not. And my bet was that her fan base wasn't going out, and probably still isn't. So, but she was great. She was fucking amazing as a comedian. I was always a big fan of hers. So I just bring people that I think are funny. And then we had a couple other comedians, Andrew, also from the Tacoma area. And the first 3 shows were good, right? Like it was good kind of like figure things out. 4th show, though, we had Craig Connick come in.
Oh, shit.
And then he brought Allie McCoskey that I had no idea who she was, but I remembered her from when she was a regular on the Kill Tony show. So when he mentioned her name and he was like, I'm going to bring her as the feature, I was like, cool. So they sold out the show.
Yeah, of course.
At about 100 people, though. Like we had things kind of structured differently, but it was all tables. People came in with their mask on. We did temperatures. Everyone sat at their table. They were only bought tickets with people that they already knew. Like we took the precautionary measures that we needed to make sure it didn't spread and we didn't have like a super spreader event. So it worked out really well. The 5th show was Tony Hinchcliffe. On a Wednesday night, he was going to do like Hyenas or something in Fort Worth or some shit like that for the weekend. So I worked with his agent to do a 1 night off show on Wednesday.
I was there that night.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
You told me about that.
Yeah. So that was the show that changed everything for us because he calls me up. Well, I didn't know this, but the day of the show, he calls me up, leaves me a voicemail. I didn't know who it was. It was a California number. And I pick up the voicemail, it's Tony. And he's like, hey, it's Tony Hinchcliffe. He's like, I want to bring the great and powerful Ron White. And he's like, where can he park his tour bus? He wants to use it as a green room. I was like, well, it's 6th Street. There's not really
I was going to say, doesn't Ron White live on Rainey? Like, why is he fucking, he can walk to the fucking venue.
He wanted to use it as like a green room.
Yeah. That's hilarious,
not
man.
Sit in there. But so he's like, I want to bring Ron White. I was like, all right, cool. We'll figure this out. And then a couple hours later, he texted me back. He's like, Joe's going to come. Where can we park a car on 6th Street? So I was like, let's figure it out. So I tell the guys at Vulcan, everyone starts fucking flipping out. Ron White, Joe Rogan. Yeah. They don't really know who Tony Hinchcliffe is, but I know who Tony is. I'm a huge fan of Tony. And so, so when the show went on, I remember this, we had a line of people outside the front of the door and we didn't even open up the doors. And Ron and Joe and Tony all come through the back with their girlfriends and wives. And Ron looks at me, the room's empty. He's like, there are going to be people here tonight? I was like, no, Ron. I'm like, you guys are performing in a fucking empty room. I'm like, go in the green room. We're about to get everybody in. And so Ron likes to give shit and like it's very subtle. And it's like, I don't mind because I give shit right back. And so he went up there and that night was fucking killer. You had a good time?
Oh, yeah.
It was a great show.
He was talking about it for a while, man. We were talking. He
great
kept
time.
talking.
And then I was one of the ones that went up after the show.
Yes.
I was like the second one up after the show.
I remember you going on. I didn't listen, so my bad. But I was like, it's
like people seemed into it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, people left the room. But
after I got done. It was that next guy that walked him. There was an electric feel in the building that night, though. Even before Joe and Ron came out,
like,
you could feel
kind of like the night that changed Austin comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could feel it. It was in the air. There was something in the air that night. You can feel the electricity. Yeah, definitely.
I still get goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, dude, it's giving me. I'm thinking about it now. Just like, holy shit, what an iconic evening. You know? Yeah.
And it was fun too because when I shook Joe's hand, he crushed my fucking hand.
Of course he did.
It was like, dude, it was like squeezing a hand.
Dude, lesbians always do that shit to me, dude. Dykes, these bitches love squeezing your hand hard, man. I hate that. I swear, every time I fucking meet a dyke, she comes up and just crushes my fuck. I'm like, dog, what are you doing? I'm not trying to steal your bitch. She got like shoulder pads on and shit with spikes coming out of them. Ain't no one trying to fuck that bitch, man. Settle down, Terry. Jesus Christ. Yeah, dude. I don't like people when they do that shit. That shit pisses me off.
I was about to say, how do you really feel?
Oh, fuck, man. I'm not playing, man. Dykes do not like me, man, for some reason.
I wonder why.
I don't call them dykes to their face.
Okay.
Until when they crush my hand, then I call them a dyke. Then I'm like, God damn it, Terry, you fucker. I got goddamn
fucking
arthritis.
Softball coach.
I got arthritis. Yeah. You fucking catcher, motherfucker. Ain't no one playing your shit, Tear. Yeah, sorry, man. I just flashback, man. Fucking dykes. Anytime there's a dyke, one day you might see it.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some dyke around. She's gonna come up and be like, hey, what's up, Cheatham? Hey, what's up, Brandon? And she's like, what's up, bitch? I'm like, God damn, what the fuck? I don't even know you.
Man.
Chris, chill the fuck out.
We just lost all of our Etsy money. All of our Etsy money is gone. Fuck.
But yeah, so he crushed your hand.
Yeah, so anyway, the night was awesome. They fucking killed it. Everyone was excited. We sold an enormous amount of tickets. And then from there on out, we built up buzz, right? Like it
seemed like from that night, it was like everybody was at Vulcan every week. It's like all of a sudden that became like a spot. It went from every now and then there's shows at Vulcan to, yo, you hitting up Vulcan tonight? Like, oh shit, I didn't know Vulcan was like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at one of the first open mics at Vulcan that y'all did. I think it was on Thursdays. And I went there before another open mic down the street, Wanderlust. And when the first open mic I went to, I think it was like the first or second one y'all did, there was only like 4 or 5 people on the list, and they ended up starting like a half hour or 45 minutes later because of all that. And then like the next week there was like 27 comics there, and then the next week I think there was like 40, and then it just got huge after that.
Yeah, well, the mic, I mean, and we only did a few of them. It was really through Vulcan, like they did it.
Yeah, they were doing that.
I never really wanted to go back into doing open mics.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't want to give back, but what I decided, my model was high quality headliner comedy, right? Like that was the model for what we initially wanted to set out, but it was always to expand beyond that. So
you had a goal, and I like that, because a lot of people, when they get into this, they just say, I want to run shows, but they don't have a goal in mind. Like, what is it that you actually want to do?
Yeah.
But I mean, and that's the hardest part, is figuring out your lane. And then,
yeah, we had a plan going into it from the get go, and I still have the plan, and we're still executing the plan, and we're not even like close to being where we're going to be at. Yeah. Like we're just at the tip of the iceberg.
Really?
Yeah, man.
What are you thinking? You thinking festivals and shit?
I'm going so fucking big, bro.
The moon?
I'm going the moon and back.
Chappelle?
No.
No.
I want to flip the industry on its fucking side.
How do you do that?
Yeah, and what do you mean by that?
Giving the power back to the comedians.
Yeah.
I think.
How about the money?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
All right.
Like
more percentage, a bigger percentage.
Not just bigger percentage, but just giving you. So there are things in the process, and I don't want to get too much into it because right now I got to be careful what I say about it. But during the process, there are things that hold people back from making decisions, and also from things transpiring. And a lot of times the comedians leave the power up to other people. They don't always make the decision. Plus, comedy clubs, right? Comedy clubs, I believe, have more power than the comedians, and that's fucking ass backwards.
And they're just a venue, dog. These people, if you have a name like Donnell Rawlings, it doesn't matter if this motherfucker performs in a barn. People are going to go see him. It doesn't matter if it's at whatever comedy club in Austin. if he performs anywhere, as long as you put his name on the bill, they're going to go there. So why the fuck is he giving up such a large percentage for this venue?
But it's not even that. But it's like it's the things that I've talked about before that they say you can't play a certain club if you want to play our club.
Yeah. Right. Oh, dude, I ran into that too. I was trying to do the same thing, trying to do shows with some of these comics that were in town. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they won't let you perform. We had Hannibal Buress came to one of our shows, and we tried to book him for another subsequent show, and he said the same thing. Like the comedy club wouldn't let him do that.
Yeah, because they either put like a radius clause on it, or they just plainly say, "Listen, you have a relationship with us, and because we have X amount of clubs throughout the nation, like if you want to play our clubs, you play our clubs. If not, bye,
fuck off."
That's trash.
It is trash. It should fucking happen.
And so clarify why they do that. So why do clubs do that?
To protect themselves, and also, so this is the thing. They do that because it's lazy fucking business.
Totally agree.
Right? Lazy fucking business. All right, think about it like this. All right, for one, and maybe I'm getting a little off track here and not exactly where we're on topic, but just bear with me. But think about the market for right now for Austin, what it was prior to COVID. Right, we only had one comedy club, one true comedy club. In a city that was growing.
One and a half.
One and a half. Okay, fine.
Velveeta,
1.5. Yeah. Either 1.5 still.
We were like 7 short.
Yeah. The city was averaging 140 people were moving here per day. And yet you broke 1 million people in the population just within the city, not to the surrounding areas. And you still only have one fucking comedy club.
It's in a strip mall in North Austin where nobody fucking goes.
Yes. Next to a karate place.
Yeah. So with no parking either whatsoever.
So in what fucking city that has over 1 million people do you see one coffee shop? Do you see one pizza parlor? Right? And that's what they do. They try to control it because they're afraid, all right, if we don't have them just come to our place, what else are we going to have? What else can we do? And the problem is that if you look at like any industry in general that has competition, which competition is healthy. It's healthy for the consumer. It's healthy for the industry. And it's just healthy in general. But you like a company who does X, Y, and Z, they have to figure out how am I different than this one? So they have to really set themselves apart by doing things that differentiate them. And that's what a comedy club doesn't want to do. They don't want to put in the fucking effort to essentially differentiate themselves from the other comedy club. Yeah. And so and this is the lazy fucking business, man, because if you go ahead and say, I'm going to be the best in customer service, right? Like that's what we're going to own. We're going to own customer fucking service. Every time they call us, we're going to pick up. Every time they email us, we're going to call them back. If they have a problem, we're going to refund them the money. If they need to upgrade something or something is wrong, we're going to take care of them. No questions fucking asked, right? Like that's how you run something. You say, I'm going to own this part, but they don't want to do that. They just want to be like, you come here and you get the 2 drink minimum. This and
same old model.
And they don't have to change because nobody's pushing them.
Exactly.
Right.
And no one has pushed this industry.
That sounds like wrestling.
Just fat cats, man. Yeah. Just literally fat cats just fucking keeping the same model. It's like the oil and gas industry, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't let anybody else in town, then you don't have to change.
Exactly.
And you can keep running the same bullshit game over and over again.
Exactly. And that's when I say we're going to flip it on the industry, we're pushing back. Like we're pushing back on all these aspects. And our goal is always to take care of the customer first and foremost. It's also to take care of the comedian. Like I pride ourselves on comedians coming there and saying it's a comedian friendly atmosphere. Like, right. And that's what we say. Like I had Chappelle Lacey came through and I kind of like explained this and told him, I was like, listen, man, this is our goal. We want to be comedian friendly. It's like, you're doing a great job. He's like, everyone's talking about it. And sure enough, like this is the thing. If you do a really good job, word of mouth happens, right? Whether it's a customer perspective or the comedian perspective. Like we did such a good job with our shows that like Allie Makovsky really liked it. She's coming back again, but she's friends with Chappelle Lacey. She told Chappelle Lacey about it. He came, he experienced it. He really liked it. They know Josh Wolf. Josh Wolf had the same fucking experience. Like all of them have the same experiences, but they all talk to each other too. And so Chappelle had such a good fucking time on his first show that guess whose agent hit me up that night of that show at like fucking midnight? Brendan Schaub.
Oh wow, damn, bro.
Brendan Schaub's agent said that he wanted to play the Vulcan.
Oh, wow.
And so we worked out a deal. He's coming in April for 5 shows.
Nice.
Wow.
And motherfuckers already selling the shit out of
That's
tickets.
badass.
But this is what we want to do, right? Like we want to create this environment that everybody wants to be a part of it. And then it's a great experience all the way around. And it should be. Like it should never be where you have to be forced into buying a certain amount of drinks. Shouldn't be that, like, if you have an excuse, because I've experienced this when I bought tickets to a comedy club, something happened with like one of my kids and we couldn't make it out that night. And I called them and they're like, sorry, no refunds.
Yeah.
I was like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't that much money in the first place, but still, it's like, it's the principle of the matter.
Mhm.
You know, it's like something happens. Give me, like we had someone call up for not this last weekend, but the weekend before, and they had a group of like 6 coming out. And she sent me an email. She's like, is there refunds? And I said, well, yeah. I mean, like we say no refunds on our tickets, but I always give refunds.
Mhm.
So I just asked her, I was like, hey, so what's going on though? And I'm just curious. And she said, 2 of our people in our party got COVID and we don't want to come. I was like, bet.
Yeah.
No questions. Here's your money. You know why though? Like why I believe refunds should be given is if you take care of them and they understand that and they like
They're
that.
gonna come back.
Exactly.
If
Exactly.
you get your money taken, you're probably gonna be like, fuck that place. I'm not going back there. But
Is it worth $50?
yeah, to lose a customer forever,
Yeah.
potentially.
No.
So
Yeah, it's like I watch Bar Rescue all the time. That
Mhm.
show's fucking hilarious.
Yes.
But John Taffer says it's being penny smart and dollar stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you might think, oh, we're gonna keep his $50. Fuck him. But that guy never comes back. So you know you're losing 3 times that potentially in the future, and him telling his friends, and just like
Exactly.
being jaded with the whole process.
Because people still, they like to talk about good experiences, but they love to talk about bad
Mhm.
experiences. They love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's why Yelp has built up a business.
based on that shit. Yeah.
So
do you think that what you guys are doing is changing the model of how
Yeah, good question.
comedy will be consumed in the future? Like away, like I feel like we're moving away from clubs, but it sounds like what you're talking about is taking like just having a night and just having like events more than a club. Like
it's an experience.
Is Big Laughs more of a comedy events company than
No.
a comedy club company?
We're a comedy media company is how I describe it.
Okay.
Because we are going to be moving into other parts
Hell yeah.
of comedy.
So you're talking about, I mean, if you can't say, or you don't want to say, that's fine. But you're talking about like production, like specials and shit like that.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Wow.
I honestly, everything you could think of,
Mhm.
like podcasts, videos, TV shows, online shows, movies,
Mhm.
like fucking the sky's the limit. Like there's nothing in the comedy world that we don't want to get our hands on.
Yeah.
And that's what we're moving towards. And we actually are going to get our own venue. The reason for the own venue is not, and I've thought about this too, is people like, oh, well, why do you want the overhead? It's a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. It's about 2 things. One, it's about adding value. If we have a venue and we can offer comedians a place to come and have a good time, also people experience it, that's the central point. Then everything else expands from there.
Yep.
So with our business plan and strategy, it starts there. And that's not going to be, honestly, the money maker. Money maker is going to come from a lot of different things.
Producing and all that shit, yeah.
Just getting your hands in
Mhm.
really everything. But it does come down to having a place, a central point, but it also then opening up venues in other cities, because there's, especially in Texas, there's a lot of opportunity in other cities.
That was
to
one of my
open up.
questions, because you've said that you want to not just be big in Austin, but all of Central Texas,
All of
Texas,
all of the
all of the world. Yeah.
man.
But you're expanding that idea now, whereas maybe it started as Austin and now it's branching out, because you're doing shows in San Antonio now
Yep.
too.
San Antonio. We're going to do one in San Marcos. We're going to start in San Marcos at the Mark,
Yeah.
which Brendan Schaub did in January, and he sold
Dude.
out 4 shows there. We're bringing Mark Norman in the summer.
It's gonna be huge, man. It's
yeah.
just gonna be like, especially San Antonio. For people who don't know, San Antonio is only an hour away, you know. So, and then San Marcos is 30 minutes. So you're gonna have like a whole like little hut, like a little tour fucking stop and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Set up a run from
Loop.
Leander down to
Yeah,
San
dude.
Antonio.
Seriously,
back.
dude. Yeah,
we're even bringing back Leander shows.
that's
with passes.
badass. This is gonna be huge, man.
Because we want, like, the smaller shows are necessary. Like, I have so many people that hit me up that want to play Vulcan, right? I can't give everybody time. First of all, our model is that we have headliners majority of the time. So
Mhm.
if the headliner's coming through, a lot of times they bring their own
Yeah.
support, or they know people locally that they want to bring. And I have no problems with that. I'm like, all right, cool. We pay them, we pay the support. It's perfectly fine. As long as they know that they're funny and they feel comfortable with them, then we're fine with. Some people are like, hey, we have some people, so we have like a roster. Yeah. Then we have these showcases now that we have some people that can come on there. They're still a little bit high level, so like open micers or stuff like that don't really get on there. But that's why we're doing these smaller shows, because I want to give the opportunities for comedians to go out there and do this stuff. Plus, it's a great opportunity for us to see who's really fucking good and who's not. Because even going back to the Leander shows, I still took pride that all the comedians that came through there, they were fucking high quality. Like we only had one person out of all our shows that we did out there that bombed. Oh, wow. And it was, she sent in a great tape. It was fucking fantastic, but she got up there and just fucking went flat. And afterwards, she was like, "Oh, I'm more of a writer than I am a stand-up."
Oh God!
I was like, well, that's good to know now.
Yeah, I love when people do that shit. Man.
Yeah, but
I do really good in like Southwest Illinois. That's like my target place. I don't know what's wrong with people here in Texas. It's weird, you know. But Southwest Illinois, you should go. I'm like a god there.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like very protective of our stage. But the other thing is that like Tremaine. Bradley, you guys know Tremaine?
Yeah.
So he's one of my favorite stories. So he's kind of like the reverse of that. He told me that, or he sent me a tape, and I saw his tape, and I was like, I'm like, keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, we could talk a little bit later. Yeah. And so he ended up on a show that I co-produced with somebody else at another bar in Pflugerville. And the guy swore up and down that he was fucking awesome. I was like, all right, man, I trust you. Let's fucking see it. So Tremaine went up there, and I sat at the bar, and I watched Tremaine kill it for like 15 fucking minutes. Like he had me rolling. And he comes off the stage, and he walks up to me, and I'll never forget this. And he walks up to me. He's like, "I told you should have put me on your fucking show." And then he walked off, and I was like, "Bet, like that's what's up, man." I'm like, first of all, the fact that he killed it, he made me eat my own words, and then he talked shit to me afterwards. I was like, "Dude, I love you, man."
Yeah, that's cool shit.
Check, and check.
That's cool shit. Yeah, dude. So we don't have much time left, but no, this has been awesome. I told you via text, like we want to get you on again too.
That'd be awesome, man.
Keep bringing you on, and
thank you guys. This is a great show, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
One of my favorite shows I've been on so far.
That's awesome, man.
Stop it.
He likes this.
You guys are actually funny too.
Thanks, man. Hey, man.
I'm more of a writer though. I'm more than a writer. I'll have you know. I don't know if you saw.
We wrote all these jokes before we came on. We were like, we just hope we can fucking fit.
We
this
just
shit
walked you into all of these big laughs.
Yeah. Like the plug. Thanks,
man. Dude, so we had a great time, man. This was hilarious.
Thank you.
So you've got some, just to summarize, so you got some big ass comics coming up here soon.
Correct.
So you're gonna have Donnell Rawlings in May, correct? And you're gonna have Paul Verzi June.
Yep.
In June. That's my birthday, by the way, too, man.
Come through, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I got you. So.
Yeah.
And then we got we're pretty much, I haven't put everything up on the website yet, but we have Eddie Griffin's up there. He's coming in July 2nd. Yeah.
Eddie Griffin's hilarious.
Dude, I did a show with him in San Antonio. And again, like talk about like a person that you could go anywhere and it sells out. Motherfucker like sold the fucking place out.
Dude, yeah, he sold out up at Twice as Funny Comedy Lounge like 2 times in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Up in like, is that Leander? Is that where that's at?
No.
Twice as Funny?
No, Twice as Funny.
It's around here. It's not far from here. Okay. But yeah, I didn't even know. It's like pretty much like an all black club.
Okay.
And it's like they get like, you know, some of these people like this, and I don't even know where the fuck it is, man. It's like in the middle of nowhere, fucking Texas. It's probably like an hour from here.
Yeah.
And he sold this bitch out like 4 days in a row, twice. Sure, and I was like, God damn, dude.
Chitlin circuit, son.
Eddie Griffin don't mess around.
Stay grinding.
Dude, and he's still funny as fuck.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
And he's such a nice guy. Like off the stage, he's like one of those comedians that is always on.
Yeah.
Like he's always on.
Always
off the stage, he brought this guy Styx, who's from Detroit. And Styx is I think he has ALS or something, but his legs don't work very well. So he has sticks. So he has sticks.
God damn it.
And so Eddie is like laying into him the whole fucking time. And it was
hilarious.
But like Sticks, like someone who has a disability, they want to be a part of that. They want to be made fun of. They want to be on the left, on the outside. So he was fucking loving it too.
I bet,
and
man.
It was great, bro.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
dude.
and Eddie is like, he's got some stories, but like he's one of the nicest guys I've met. He was like so cool. He told me like, I remember I showed up the last show. We had a show with Fahim Anwar here in Vulcan. he sold that out. I came back because I never met him before. I wanted to make sure I met him. So I met him. He started his show. I left, drove back down to San Antonio to catch Eddie's last show of the weekend. And I roll in there and there's a fucking line out the door onto the street. Yeah. And I walk in there and I go in the green room and Eddie's in there. I was like, what's up, baby? He's like, what's up, baby? He was like, we're talking to me. And he's like, I'm like, and we were talking for a little bit. And then I'm like, I'm going to go back outside real quick and check how things are going. He's like, why the fuck are you going out there? He's like, there's a line at the door. He's like, what else do you need to know? Yeah. He's like, just come in here, have a drink with me and chill. I was like, that's what's up.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Dude, what's up?
Yeah, dude. So,
nice.
It's just
that's awesome, man.
And it's great talking to people like I've been talking to Andrew Dice Clay about actually coming out here and doing some stuff in Texas.
Okay.
And talking with him. Again, what I love about this whole experience is that you get to meet these people like I grew up watching, right? Like we grew up watching.
Yeah, you get to kick it with these people, man.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And they're some of the nicest people. Like Andrew, like Dice is like the fucking coolest dude.
I'm sure, dude.
When I talked to him on the phone, he asked, it was right after like the winter storm. He just asked me questions about how things were going in Texas from the winter storm. That's like all he really gave a shit about.
That's hilarious.
He's also an old man now, and all old men want to talk about his weather. That's it.
It's fucking weather. Oh my God.
Have the birds come back yet?
That's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. It's like
going to be cold until the birds come back.
Yeah.
When you see the birds, that's when you know it's safe to go outside.
Flashbacks of my grandfather.
Dude, seriously.
Every conversation with my granddad for his last 3 years of his life was, so how's the weather in Georgia?
Yeah, dog, yeah.
How's it
That's
in Texas?
exactly, yeah, when I talk to my grandparents, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, old people say this shit all the time. They always like to talk about how there's like so many seasons in one day. It's like,
It's 4 seasons in one day. You know, like I had a jacket on this morning. Then later today, I had to take the jacket off. It was hot. Then I had to put it back on.
it's like, yeah, the sun goes up and down, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It gets hot and cold throughout the day. I don't know if you heard about this shit. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on because this has been hilarious, man. You're super fucking interesting.
You got anything you want to plug on the way out?
Yeah, can we tell people where they can find you, where they can find all your information?
Yeah, just go to Big Laugh Comedy. Go blcomedy.com.
BL Comedy?
Yeah, blcomedy.com. And then you can also follow us on Instagram. It's Big Laugh Comedy Network.
And then on Twitter, it's at Big Laugh Comedy.
Yep.
You can find out all future show dates and all that stuff there as well.
Sign up for our VIP list too. We get about
I'm on that. Yeah, cool. I get the emails all the time. Very informative.
Oh, you got a VIP list?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We need to get on the VIP list.
Yeah, dude. He tells you when people are coming.
Let me get on that list. Let me get on that VIP list. You know what I'm saying?
I put you on the VIP.
Bet I'll bring the picture with me.
Yeah.
Very, very important picture, bitches.
Our social, you can find me at chadfishercomedy.com, at Comedy Chad on Twitter. Instagram is at Chad Fisher Comedy. What's your shit, brother? Real Aaron Cheatham? The Aaron Cheatham on Instagram and Aaron Cheatham on Facebook. Look your boy up. Yeah, same with me. And then for us, The Gray Area, you can find us at Podcast The Gray Area on Instagram, Facebook.com/The Gray Area Podcast. On Twitter at Podcast Gray Area. Also find us on hotpiemedia.com. You can find all of our shows along with a bunch of other awesome shows from Hot Pie Media, our producers here. There's a lot of interesting shit that they're producing and everything like that we're happy to be a part of. So
thank you guys for listening to another edition of the Gray Area Podcast.
Great job.
Share, like, subscribe, review. Check out our boy B. Check out all of his shit. Be kind to each other. And until next time, here's mud in your eyes. Peace.
Thanks for listening. You can find more episodes and all other Hot Pie Media originals baked fresh daily at our home on the web at hotpiemedia.com, the Hot Pie Media YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to podcasts.